if not getting to Hoover, getting to the postseason and trying to escape this gauntlet as Charles Davalon leads off.
Were you standing there when DVH was talking about that tonight?
Yeah.
28, 29, 30. Just get us through these.
Davalon is sophomore from Montreal, Quebec, is second in the SEC in hits with 76. Grew up playing hockey. Nobody in his family really played baseball. And I'm going on a limb as he rips this one up the middle. He might be the most proficient French speaker in Northwest Arkansas. Leadoff single for Davalon.
He's also a barrel. And this dude, he gives me, I'm going to throw a name at you, Brian Giles vibes. You got to go back a little bit, the former great Indian and Padre, but it's a small frame, but man, watch how sudden that barrel is. He gets it from A to B as quickly as anybody in the conference, and he is putting together an all SEC type season.
So is this guy, Vahiva Aloy, maybe the most feared hitter in the SEC. He's top 5 in home runs. He's 6th in the league in average. He has started every game of the season for Arkansas, and the Hawaiian looks at a first pitch strike. In your conversation for player of the year?
Yeah, I mean, for my money, I think he is the SEC player of the year. First in total bases, first in runs, first in hits, and has played a top shelf shortstop. I can't imagine anybody else having a better resume than Mr. Aloy.
Sends a breaking ball to short, chance for 2. Keelan to Curley and on to first. And Tennessee gets a rare double play. They're third to last in the SEC in double plays turn. They'll take that one.
Well, it's a big deal, too, because the storyline with Phillips is, can he hold runners? Well, he didn't have to, right? You get an early 6-4-3, eliminate a leadoff base runner, and that is a big weight off his back, KP.
Way early. But 106 and 102 off the bat so far for Arkansas. Now, the second one's a double play, but still 2 barrels early.
So the base is empty now for Logan Maxwell, and a first pitch fastball at 98. 99 on our gun. Either one works.
It's easy, too.
It is. I tell you what, that mitt is loud, though. We can hear it snapping up here in the booth.
Again, 99, and 1-1 now to Maxwell, who's coming off of a 1-for-8 performance against LSU. Arkansas dropped that series on the road against the now #1 team in the country. They got run ruled in game number 2, curveball in the dirt, and came back with a great bullpen performance, among other things, to win 7-4 in the finale. To the left side, and that one sneaks through. 2-out single on the fastball.
Well, you said it, KP. There's a bunch of loud contact here early in the ball game, and that's another, just looks like a meaningless ground ball, but 103 off the bat. And so even though Phillips seems to have his A+ fastball from a velocity standpoint, Arkansas looks a little comfortable.
And so here's Kuyo Aloy, who's riding a 9-game hit streak. He's the younger brother of Vahiva. Rocketed foul. Yeah, what time that game in? Like
1:17.
That's pretty late. Schlitz and Giggles Pizza is no longer open at Baton Rouge at 1:17.
This may shock you, but that's one pizza place I actually haven't been to.
Still time. Couple throws over for Phillips, and Tony Vitello was very direct after Vanderbilt connected on their first 8 stolen base attempts against Phillips in last week's game 2. And he said essentially he's either going to figure it out or he's not going to pitch.
Well, you could tell there's again a runner at first base with 0 stolen bases. There's already been 3 pickoff attempts, and he's changing when he picks, right? He's picked before he comes set. He's picked after he's come set, which is always helpful to get runners off your scent.
Not running, and it's dribbled foul.
When he's been up to as slow as 1.6 this season so far, I got him at 1.44. Really, in a perfect world, you'd like to be below 1.4.
But that's not
bad.
Terribly slow.
No.
Tell the people what that time means from win to win.
Yeah, so most of stealing bases is math. Most good runners are going to get from their leadoff position to second base in about 3.35 seconds. And catchers are usually about 2 flat-ish to second base. So if a pitcher can get the ball home in under 1.35, then it makes it really hard for the base runner to steal second base. If a pitcher is above 1.4, above 1.45, into the 1.5s, it's almost impossible to throw a runner out. So that's the math that most of these teams are doing against Phillips.
2-2 to Aloy with the runner on, not going again. And upstairs, Kyle, I was promised there would be no math this weekend.
Somebody broke their promise in the first inning already. You got to hang out with him 2 more days. I at least get out of town.
You did ask.
I did.
Okay.
Payoff pitch to Aloy. There he goes, and it's waved at for strikes.
It's the second time this year that you've dropped it.
Really?
Yes.
He just can't get enough.
Yes.
When was the first time?
When you said it the first time.
Last week.
Yeah.
No, I did not say it last week. Well, I'm not sure an ESPN News audience had heard it.
Good point. Nobody better. Share the Laverne and Shirley wealth.
2 balls and a strike to Dean Curley. He was in a bit of an SEC slump going into last weekend. Was 3 for 23 over his previous 2, and he lines this one to left field. That one got Davalon in between, and it drops in front of the left fielder.
I don't know if he didn't see that off the bat, because he just kind of, if he breaks right away, Davalon's got a chance, and it probably was hit too square that a man knuckled at him a little bit to the left.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that KP or the sun, but he's trying to block the sun there. He didn't see that ball. You see he's playing super deep to start to where really he doesn't have a whole lot to think about but coming in on the ball, and he just didn't see that one.
Reese Chapman bunts it back to the screen.
Shades of Omaha in left field to start the ball game.
Yeah, he's playing deep enough. I feel like if it's over his head, it's over the wall.
Yeah, some outfielders like to just take the back part out of it and be able to know that they can run in without really having to worry about playing the ball over your head. But he's certainly playing a deep left field. You can see he's been playing out there all year. He's worn out a patch.
He's playing behind his patch. 11 home runs in the season for Chapman. 5 of them have come against SEC pitching. And Zach Root sends one over to first. Home run allowed by Root was his 5th of the season. He came in tied for 4th in the league in fewest home runs allowed.
Well, for years we've been talking about the home run as a huge part of the Tennessee offensive strategy, their formula, their system, whatever word you want to use. And this year, again, top 5 in the country in homers, but not so much in league play.
Curveball in for strike 3. Second K for Root.
I know Tennessee's got a couple good swings off him this inning, but Root has the ace up tonight. And the fastball's been up to 95, 2 different breaking balls, one embargo hit out. But I mean, that's the buckler. If he can throw that left on left and you get that immediate first reaction, there's no chance you got enough time to pull the trigger.
Tennessee catcher Cannon Peebles. Was that the curveball?
Changeup.
Okay.
3 right-handed hitters so far in this game for Tennessee. He started all 3 of them with changeups.
And Peebles sends this one deep left field. Davalon catches up to it. 2 down. From the Queen City to the Natural State, we welcome those of you who've been watching the PGA. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Kyle Peterson in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Sold out Baum Walker Stadium in a top 20 showdown. Number 17, Tennessee, with a 1-run lead thanks to a Dalton Bargo home run. And 8th-ranked Arkansas with its ace, Zach Root, on the mound. First game of 3 and a final weekend of the regular season in the SEC. And Blake Grimmer at the plate against Root. Then falls behind. They count 0-1. How's Root's stuff looking tonight, KP?
I think it's real good. I mean, it was a quick 1-2-3 first. He threw 8 pitches, and then Dalton Bargo got him on a slider that was a little bit too up in the zone. But 2 different breaking balls. The changeups against right-handers have been solid so far, too.
Just the second conference start of the season for Grimmer. And he looks at the curveball upstairs. These are 2 high-powered offenses. Tennessee 3rd in the country in home runs, and Arkansas 5th. And 2 programs have been in a bit of a slide lately. Would love to grab a series win.
Yeah, combined, these 2 programs have lost 9 of their last 11 series, which is still hard to wrap my brain around with how talented these 2 teams are. But it's true. And even though Arkansas and Tennessee both find themselves well above 500 in the conference, and Arkansas's 2nd in the league, both of these teams here in the second half of conference play have lost their fair share of series. And Tennessee specifically, 4 straight home series, which is just really odd.
It's a program that lost 4 home games in total all of last year on their way to a national title. This series has huge postseason implications outside of the SEC.
Down there.
Breaking ball in the knees from Marcus Phillips, and a count 2-0 to Koljul. I kind of feel like Camden Koljul was born to play baseball. He was named after Camden Yards.
Yeah, Pop's working the ground crew, named after Camden Yards. I'd say it was meant to be.
3-0 now as Phillips can't seem to land that 96-mile-an-hour pitch. He's living in the mid to upper 90s. Got hit hard a couple of times in the first inning, but got a huge double play behind him. And he fits that one in for a strike.
And Kojo has really, I mean, he has been a star for this team. First in SEC play in runs batted in. He's up 8 on the next closest guy. So he saved his biggest moments for conference play. He's played a ton of first, now playing second base.
And he sends a chopper that Phillips is able to grab. Great athleticism, 1 down.
He can show you that now. I mean, when he went to junior college, he was a 2-way guy. Didn't even pitch that much at Iowa Western, and Tony Vitello had a buddy who was a scout in the Midwest and called him and said, listen, I know that the numbers may not be there. This is an SEC guy. Well, he's an SEC athlete too. The fastball obviously plays, but right there, because that ball gets by him, that is not an easy play.
I mean, you have no chance to make that play, like 0.
It wasn't very nice.
You're talking about me if I'm out there. I'd have run over and touched first myself. I wouldn't even flipped it.
Ryder Helfrich at the dish for Arkansas. Phillips, a high school basketball player at Roosevelt High School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and his dad, Steve, played both football and baseball at the University of Kentucky. Comes upon it honestly, and he comes upon 98 honestly, 1-1. Sharply hit up the middle and over the bag past Curley. It's a 1-out single for Ryder Helfrich. Arkansas making some contact here early on.
Well, that's the loudest of the night. About 113 miles an hour right back up the box. Heads up.
You can be as athletic as you want, but 113 off the bat right back up the middle. Ain't anybody making that play unless it hits you in the glove. That's now at least 4 balls that Arkansas has hit 100 miles an hour more off the bat so far.
So what does that tell you about Phillips' stuff?
Everything's on the fastball too. So, I mean, he's going to have to land the off-speed stuff, then the fastball will play up. But so far, there's some comfortable swings.
If you joined us late, one of the storylines for Tennessee has been opponents' ability to run on the Volunteers, and specifically when Marcus Phillips is on the mound. Helfrich is just 1 for 3 on the bases this year. Arkansas is not a running team. They are 15th out of 16 SEC teams with only 39 stolen bases on the season. Feel like Dave Van Horn's going to pick and choose when they go?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last inning. They waited till very late in the count to go. I do think they'll give their runners some opportunities, but again, it has to be the right guys, right? Yeah, I don't think you're going to go with your catcher here, Helfrich.
Especially for a team with so much pop, 104 home runs on the year, 5th most in the country. And a swing and a miss at the slider, 0-2. Has Phillips picked up his tempo a little bit?
Well, I mean, we've got some times that are low 1.4s, which again, in the past we've seen him around 1.5, even up to 1.6. So feels like maybe he's definitely doing a good job with varying his tempo on his picks. Again, just because you pick doesn't mean that actually holds.
First ever Australian player in Arkansas baseball history, Brent Iredale. To a board for Reese Robinette from the Boot Heel of Missouri out of Kennett High School. I'd like to get Robinette and Iredale together, hear them talk back to back.
Well, I'd put Davalon in with him.
Yes, yeah. Get the French Canadian on the list. Accents galore. 2 home runs for Robinette. Both have come in league play.
One of them over the scoreboard against the University of Texas here that brought this place to their feet. Interesting talking with Nate Thompson about Robinette and just his progression throughout the year. A young man who obviously has size and strength, but just wasn't great in the preseason. And so as the season has gone on, one of the things they do midweek is they allow some of their backup arms to throw against some of their backup bats. And Robinette just kept having success hitting the ball at the ballpark, driving the ball in the gaps. And with some injuries, he's got his shot and has made the most of it here down the stretch.
He fills up the batter's box, 6'3", 220.
Here's the other thing, too, is he fills up first base. I mean, with that frame over at first base, he's going to save you some high throws, because if Kojal's playing over there or if Robinette's playing over there, there's a pretty significant size difference.
Felt like Kojal was just a placeholder for time being, but because of injury, he's moved back to second. Another throw over. Iredale is 4 for 4 on the bases this year. Opponents have 101 stolen bases against Tennessee this year. That one up 3-1.
Feels like a big pitch here early in the ball game. Robinette again been swinging the bat pretty well lately. Phillips in a strike count. Better make a pitch right here.
3-1 to Robinette, and a slider missed to load him up, and they'll bring out the beer mugs here at Baum-Walker Stadium, one of the best fan bases in all of college baseball. Pass them around. Bases are loaded for Justin Thomas Jr.
Oh, Frank Anderson coming out to mound, and he just shooed the entire infield away from him. This is a pitcher-only conversation.
Well, he's allowed Cannon Peebles to join. What a scene here in Fayetteville. I mean, this place is amazing every time we come.
It's such a great college baseball environment. I mean, they know the game really well. They're not afraid to do some homework on the opposing players before they show up. It's always an interesting time out in left field.
And the facility is spectacular.
No,
I mean,
insane.
it's a top 5 college baseball fan base / environment / facility. And you put that with a world-class team and coaching staff, and it's truly one of the best places in the sport.
So an opportunity for Justin Thomas Jr., who is riding a 6-game hit streak coming into this one. I think Frank said just let's stick with the heat here.
Well, I think he said throw strike one. I mean, everything else gets better when you throw strike one. That time pumps an arm side fastball in there at 96.
And then the breaking ball, 0-2 to Thomas, the 9-hole hitter.
That's what strike one allows you to do. Hitter changes a little bit. You don't have to throw it over the plate when you're ahead 0-1. Now Marcus Phillips in a great spot up 0-2.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. He only needed 3 to dispatch Justin Thomas Jr. Second K for Phillips.
A couple pretty big breaking balls here, KP. Those last two had some real bite to them late. Tell Thomas just did not see those.
So here's Charles Davallon. 2 grand slams on the season. He's driven in 17 with the bases loaded and looks at a breaking ball for strike one. Davallon singled up the middle his first time up. Oh, 1 in for a strike. Living upper 90.
Frank, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good visit so far.
5 straight strikes since he walked out there. Punch out Thomas Jr. to start. Now goes 0-2 on Davallon.
And just missed, but he hit his spot. 1-2 now.
One of the hardest guys in the conference to strike out. Just 20 strikeouts on the season against 27 walks. This young man knows the strike zone, and that one's just a whisker off the outside edge.
They love Davallon's athleticism. A hockey player growing up in Canada. The 1-2. And rips it down the line, fair. Helfrich has scored. Iredell coming home. Robinette being waved. The throw home is cut off. The relay is in time. And a huge assist coming from Reese Chapman in the outfield. They're going to take another look at this one. Certainly looked like the foot of Reese Robinette beat the glove to the dish.
I agree, Tommy. Live, I thought he just barely beat it. Pretty nice relay there by Tennessee. Chapman to Fisher. But Eddie Newsom said the glove beats the foot to the bag. And I don't know, tough to tell from that look. Question is, sometimes KP, is the foot down. That's the problem sometimes when these guys slide into home plate. Sometimes that foot hovers. That looks like it's down, but still can't tell where the tag lands.
This should be your best look.
Yeah. The foot bounces a little bit. Oh, see, is that up in the air? What'd you think?
I think he's safe. I mean, I think he's safe by a frame, but I think he's safe. I think the question was whether the foot was down. It looked like the foot was down.
Well, this is a big one. Will at least get 2 home on the stroke by Davallon, but the question is if they have to face Aloy.
I always like to slide into home and touch it with my hand just because you knew you didn't have to worry about whether your foot would hover above the base or not. And Robinette sliding feet first, he could have gone outside and touched it with his hand, and then that would have made it impossible for Peebles to tag him. But he really gives Peebles a good target to tag to because he slides right into the middle of the plate.
What a quick exchange on the cutoff, by the way.
Yeah, Fisher did a fantastic job. I mean, Tennessee couldn't have done it better from a defensive side of things.
Call on the field was out at home. Chapman to Fisher to Peebles.
Davallon just continues to amaze, doesn't he? I mean, what a season he has had for this Arkansas club.
Well, with 2 outs right there, too. You got bases loaded, 1 out, gets a strikeout. Davallon comes up. He's now barreled it up both of his at-bats. His last one's going to get him at least 2 driven in, potentially 3.
You know, it's interesting, KB, because Phillips' highest whiff rate pitch is his changeup. But it seems like when push comes to shove, he's going to throw slider. And you throw slider over the plate to a guy like Davalon, he's going to make you pay.
Well, it works back in towards the barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like the changeup against left-handers is it's tougher to stay on it.
Looks like we got something coming here.
Jeff Head, the crew chief, SEC veteran and a regular at the Men's College World Series in Omaha.
I'm going to say it stands.
And so that ends the inning, but not before Davalon delivers. And third in the country in long balls, second in sluggy, third at on base. And the first pitch high to Fisher.
It's a big time at bat right here. You got a lefty in Zach Root that's got a chance to be a top 30 pick, top first round kind of guy. Andrew Fisher himself, and these are the kind of at bats. We saw a lot of scouts in the building pregame. These are the kind of at bats they really hone in on.
1-1. What are Fisher's draft prospects now relative to where they were earlier?
Yeah, I mean, he's moved himself well up draft boards. He's positioned himself, I mean, to me, behind Ike Irish. I think you could argue, you know, Jace Lavalette obviously has a ton of pedigree as well, but I think he's one of the top 3 or 4 draft eligible hitters in the conference.
And this ball is sent to right field. Marin will motor his way to third. And Tennessee's got runners at the corners with one down.
The thing that's so interesting to me about Fisher, watch how big this hack is. I mean, that is a violent hack that is built to elevate the baseball. He gets a little over the top of that one and just kind of hits a humpback liner into right field. But he does 2 things that Major League Baseball seek in a hitter. He makes great swing decisions, takes balls, swings and strikes, and he elevates the ball with ease. And so when he's on time, the ball is almost always in the air to the outfield, and that usually spells a lot of damage.
Hunter Ensley looks at the first pitch, and we got some chatter from the Tennessee dugout.
What's the chatter here? Oh, the pitch clock?
I think pitch clock, but I also think maybe they think Root's moving before Ensley's set and looking at him.
I got you. Yeah, there's definitely something with that.
It is a very unique rule in college baseball when it comes to the pitch clock that pitcher and batter have to engage with eye contact.
This year.
Here's Marin at third. What are you saying? That conferences have grown too large?
Here's Iowa, okay? Iowa did not play UCLA, did not play USC, and now plays Oregon this weekend. I was just looking the other day, and I love Rick Heller and the job they've done at Iowa. They have not beat a team yet this year that will go to the NCAA tournament. Not one. But they're leading the league.
Yeah. I know it's wild. Somehow they missed the whole West Coast until this weekend.
Here's Logan Maxwell. Meanwhile, Tennessee's fighting for the opportunity to be at home throughout the postseason. Is a great home field advantage for the Volunteers. They're trying to lock down a top 16 seed.
There has been previously a great home field advantage. It hasn't been that big this year. In fact, I mean, they haven't been great at home within the league. I don't know if it'd be the worst thing if they do go on the road.
I feel like right now projected to go to Morgantown as a 2 seed. That would be a steel cage death match.
Oh, that would be spicy, no question.
Hey, let's be honest. Anywhere they go on the road during the regionals, it's going to be spicy.
But the closer they are, the spicier it gets. I mean, if they had to go all the way to Corvallis or Eugene, you might limit that a little bit. A little bit.
I mean, they've lost 5 of their last 6 series, so the thought that they would have to go on the road makes perfect sense. Now, if they figured out a way to win this one, that they might sneak into the top 16. But I think the group is just kind of resigned to the fact that they haven't been. It's really been rubber games. They've been really bad on Sundays. They just haven't been able to win They've played they haven't been swept all year. They've played a ton of rubber games that they have not been able to win those series. And the reality is, if they don't pull something out of their hat here this weekend in Fayetteville, they're probably going on the road.
Well, they left the winning run at first base in the 9th inning of the series finale against Vandy in a 7-5 loss. So they made it interesting.
Well, just 2 years ago, they went on the road to Clemson and to Southern Miss to get to the College World Series.
Brothers are big golfers back in Hawaii. They were on the Hog Pod with Bo Mattingly earlier this season, and one said of the other, yeah, he can hit a golf ball 400 yards.
Oh.
So Bo asked the first guy, how far do you hit it? He goes, 390.
The Loy boys are put together.
Younger one at the plate now. He went to BYU as a pitcher originally. Pitched most of the fall, would only hit during batting practice. Went home for Christmas, put some work in the cage, got back to Provo, picked up some ABs, and he was hitting the 3-hole opening day for the Cougars last year.
Well, it's a pretty neat story. They weren't quite sure what he didn't have a monster year. He had a good year, but that's a place that's very offensive. Obviously, the ball travels out there at elevation. They weren't exactly sure what they had, but it took them about one day of batting practice to go, oh my, because the way he impacts the ball, the exit velocities with which he hits it, they knew he would fit in just fine. But the Tennessee dugout did not like this call. What do you think here, KP? That barrel go past his hands?
I think that one probably went far enough.
That one definitely went far enough.
David Susi, the first base umpire, denied the appeal. 1-2 now to Kuioloy. And he's punched out on a breaking ball. Strikeout number 3 for Marcus Phillips.
Good combo right there. Elevated fastball, get the check swing, don't get the call, come back and drop a slider in. Outside part of the plate right at the knees, and it just froze Kuioloy right there.
Six base runners so far, Tommy. 6 base runners. Do we have one attempted steal?
No. Well,
one
the only
runner
time
went in
on
motion.
3-2,
but it was put in play.
Yep.
Cam Kojal waves over the top of that one.
I'm watching Maxwell. Maxwell feels like he's trying to time it up over there at first base. Just hard to believe that they're not going to at least attempt to run on Phillips. 2 outs, always a good time to try to get into scoring position.
And this one's bunted foul.
Wait, what?
Shift. Shift on. He saw the shift. Hey, man, if that's fair, that might have been a double based on where Manny Merritt's playing.
Well, I mean, Kojal's just too dangerous with 2 outs and a runner at first base. I mean, if it wasn't 2 outs, I'd say go for it. But it feels like as well as he's swinging the bat, he needs to try to hit a ball in a gap or better.
Maxwell has not picked up a stolen base all season. He's 0 for 1 on the year. Another toss over. Much different scenario for Phillips today relative to his last start against Vandy. Not only did they steal 8 bags on him, but he threw away 2 pickoff attempts at first. And now 1 and 2 to Kojal. Well, Mattingly was telling me about Kojal. He's a big part of the Catholic parish here in the Fayetteville area. Well, one of their deacons is Norm DeBryant, longtime former Arkansas coach. So before the season began, he got DeBryant to come into the locker room, bless his bat.